I probably gotta turn the keyboard out. Hello. Happy Tuesday, day 70 of live streams, day number 2 of going on Facebook and YouTube. I'm doing an open mic tonight, and I have an idea for what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do a pretty weird set. I'm gonna try that out. Then I'm gonna talk about creativity, and we'll see where else we go. Maybe I'll play more music. Maybe I'll talk about love. Oh yeah, they call me Egg Boy, 'cause I love eggs. I hug them and I kiss them and I eat them on the reg. I make them scrambled and fried for my main course and make some deviled eggs on the side. It's music to my ears when I hear an egg crack, the ooey gooey yolk running down my back. That's why they call me Egg Boy, because I really love eggs. Egg Boy, Egg Boy, Egg Boy. Oh yeah, you know I love eggs. Egg Boy, Egg Boy, Egg Boy. You know, it's so funny. People are always asking, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's like this eternal question. I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is the rooster came first and the chicken faked her orgasm. I mean, come on, obviously the rooster came first. He's definitely compensating for the fact that he gets up every morning at 6 a.m. and goes, cock-a-doodle-doo. You know something that I was thinking about the other day? I think it's funny that public school attendance is based on proximity. You go to the school you're closest to. What if that was the case with our jobs? What if, oh, you live by the hospital? You're the doctor. Thank you, Tim. You live by a hospital, gotta be a doctor. You live by the dump, you're the garbage man. I need a third one for that one. I think I got one more joke I want to tell. Dating me is like dating Harry Styles, except Harry Styles is talented and successful. Anyways, I'm gonna sing another song. And tonight I have this idea at the open mic. I think it's gonna be a weird space. I'm gonna ask for 4 people to come on stage with me and act out being part of the race car bed. We bought a race car bed. We bought a giant race car bed, a big race car bed, a big race car bed for the 5 of us to sleep in together. We bought a race car bed. We bought a giant race car bed, a big race car bed, a big race car bed for the 5 of us to sleep in together. Flying high through the night sky, floating through my dreams. Got my whip all tricked out. Sleepyheads see it and they scream, scream. My friends and I pulled our money together to make our sleeping situation much better. Don't put your covers on the racing stripe, 'cause I want to show off my new bed tonight. We bought a race car bed. We bought a giant race car bed, a big race car bed, a big race car bed for the 5 of us to sleep in together. After we bought the race car bed, obviously we needed to buy something dumber. We bought a tandem bike. We bought a giant tandem bike, a big tandem bike, a big tandem bike for the 5 of us to sleep it right on together. We bought a tandem bike. We bought a giant tandem bike, a big tandem bike, a big tandem bike for the 5 of us to ride on together. I ride my new bike with my best friends, pedaling in a line. We look so fine, our quads are so big, all the ladies just lose their minds. It happens every time we peaked. This is it, we reached the top. Our trip on this 5-seat bike can't be stopped. I'm like a rat with wings. When I'm riding on my bike, it makes my heart want to sing. We bought a tandem bike. We bought a giant tandem bike, a big tandem bike, a big tandem bike for the 5 of us to ride on together. We bought a popsicle stand to sell some treats and invest in the band. A new popsicle stand to sell some treats to our fans for the 5 of us to manage together. We bought an ice cream truck to tour the world and to make a quick buck. A new ice cream truck with ice cream that doesn't suck. For the 5 of us to ride in together. Yeah. All right, guys, so I think we're going to tell some jokes, play some music tonight at the open mic at Annoyance. So I heard it's a really weird one, so that should be fun. I am calling this, I always say the title late and then I forget. Do I have it written in Streamlabs? No, I don't. Something about creativity. Oh, no. I am struggling. I am struggling. Okay. No! Okay, we're back, I think. I'm calling this on, or how to be creative, on creativity. And I had comedy class yesterday, and we had to write, our assignment for this upcoming week is to write and perform 15 one-liners. And in class, we did this exercise where he set a timer for 10 minutes. Well, we wrote a bunch of things up on the board for like inspiration. And then we set the timer for 10 minutes. And we did this like rapid fire one-liner writing exercise of writing, dating me is like blank. And then you just try and fill in the dating me is like something and just write and don't worry about if it's funny or not, just like start writing. And so I have some that like aren't funny at all. Like dating me is like a NASCAR race. We only go in one direction and it lasts way too long. Actually, that is kind of funny. But that, I like was judging that as not funny. What else do I have? Dating me is like eating a Hot Pocket. Warm and delicious at first, but then cold and undercooked in the middle. Where's one that's like really, I don't really think doesn't make sense. I wrote dating me is like dating dating SpongeBob. We're both made of cheese. Random, doesn't really make sense. But I have like 2 full pages of dating me is like, and there's a few that I think are really funny. I think that Hot Pocket one is fun. I think dating me is like taking care of a puppy. Dating me is like taking care of a puppy. I'm cute, I'm fun, but I will shit the bed repeatedly. And I wrote a bunch of those, and then I did some with my job is like blank. That one was harder for me. And that's when while I was in the middle of that, I came up with that high school proximity joke, like being the doctor because you're near the hospital, which I think is really good. I'm going to try and tell that, or I'm going to tell that tonight. Yeah, and I've just been, today I set a timer for 10 minutes and wrote a bunch of wrote a bunch of one-liners down. And a lot of them aren't funny, but I just wrote them and kept going. And I'm talking about how to be creative. Like, to be creative, just create. Fill a page with stuff. And like a lot of this, I don't want anyone to see because I don't think it's good. A lot of this is like the unpolished turds. But you got to put the unpolished turds on the page because you'll start polishing some of them and realize like, oh, that one's actually not a turd. That one's really good. So like I wrote this, maybe I'll just read all these down and just not be embarrassed because I'm sharing something vulnerable to show you how to be creative. Dating me is like going to the airport. Anxious anticipation followed by a long wait. Dating me is like checking your emails. It's no fun. Checking emails is like being stuck in traffic. Everyone does it and no one likes it. Like, not very funny. Drinking coffee is like dating me. I'll make you, yeah, I crossed a bunch of stuff out. Dating me is like drinking coffee. You think I'll give you energy, but I'll really just be full of shit. Then I just wrote a bunch of words: tacos, breakfast, mic stand, NFT, CNN, Michael Bay. And then I went, dating me is like watching a Michael Bay movie. Lots of flash to draw you in, then no substance to follow up. So I wrote about, and then I wrote this one. Filled this whole page, and then eventually I wrote this, which I think is actually funny. Bananas are the only food that goes from edible to unedible to the base ingredient for a new type of bread. Do any other foods do this? do stinky onions turn into onion bread? Stinky onion bread. But anyways, I just filled some pages with jokes and let go of the judgment of if they were going to be funny or not. Just like said, I'm going to write a setup and punchline. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to like practice making these connections in my mind. Just find interesting connections, write them down. Even if I'm stuck on a joke, just like write, like the SpongeBob one I said, I like dating me is like SpongeBob. We're both made of cheese. Like I remember being stuck and I just like wrote that and was like, whatever, I don't think that's funny, but don't like just sit here and try to make this one funny. Just go to the next one. Maybe just like something about putting the pen to the page makes you more creative, or just like gets the brain working in new ways, and then you make new connections. Whenever I've recorded an album, I have always committed to writing every day, writing lyrics or writing like notes on paper. And usually, especially with like longer fusion songs, usually those either happen all at once. I either write the whole tune in a second, and or I write 8 bars here, 4 bars there, 8 bars here, 4 bars there, and then I start to say, wait, does this 8 bars go with this 8 bars? And I maybe move keys, and it's like, oh, these two sound like they're part of the same thing. Oh, that's part of this. Oh, now I'm inspired to write this. And these fusion songs I've written that end up being like 7 or 8, 9, 10 minutes, most of them happen from just writing every day and piecemealing stuff together. My song Hasidic Jig, I had that song up to the saxophone solo written for months, and I couldn't figure out what to do after the saxophone solo. I was so stuck. At the same time, for months, I had this idea written. And I was always trying to write a melody over them. I can't even like improvise anything over that. That rhythm is so messed up. I was trying to write a melody, thought I just need to write a melody over this. And eventually, just from tinkering with it and writing every day and keep writing stuff, eventually I realized it's like, wait, what if this song eventually turns into that riff, and that's a drum solo. So there's a part. And then we're in the drum solo. And then the rest of the tune finished itself. So I guess what I'm sharing about that is that song, the only reason that song exists in the way it exists is because I committed to writing every day. And I think that's what being creative is. I think we see people make something that seems so unique or new or special, and we go, that's creative. How did they do that? It's actually really simple. They did it just by creating. They did it just by putting pen to paper. And like this is just one example of it, because like, you could draw, you could take pictures, you could even like playing keyboard is creative, but I guess just like committing to having ideas in the world. And I have been sharing with people a lot. If you were a viewer of the stream, I share this a lot. Creativity is simply ideas executed. That's all it is. That's my definition anyways. And that has helped me see things as creative that I used to not see as creative. I think it would be easy to look at this list of jokes that I wrote yesterday and today and look at all the ones that aren't funny and say, this is not creative. When the reality is it is all of it's creative. I'm creating with all of this. And like, just because I missed my objective on some of this doesn't really matter. And also, like, I guess my objective wasn't even to write a bunch of funny jokes. My objective was to write a bunch of jokes, period. With the hope that just by writing jokes and focusing on the process of writing jokes, funny jokes would show up. And I would start to become the person who can write funny jokes more consistently. So to be creative, I think people think creativity is inextricably like tied to brilliance. And when we see something brilliant happen, I at least have an instinct to go, that's so creative. And then put creativity on a pedestal. It's like, oh, only a brilliant mind could come up with something that creative. Only someone up here could come up with that. And the reality is there might be some prodigal geniuses. I don't know if Jacob Collier just woke up one day and was really, really gifted at music. But I even with people like him, I think anybody who appears to be creative works a lot, and they just create a lot. And like, there's a bit of a lottery element to creating where you don't know what's going to resonate, what's going to connect. And I think the more authentic we are, the more we increase our odds. The more we hone our craft, which actually gives us the ability to be more authentic, because when I'm playing piano, I'm saying something. And if I can hear stuff very clearly before I put my hands to the piano, and what I imagine I can make come out with my fingers in real time, then I can say more fluently, authentically what I am feeling through the piano. I barely speak Spanish. I'm a donde está el baño type guy. I can't really effectively be authentic in Spanish. I can't communicate. I can't share the parts of my soul, but I can through music because I'm very fluent in music, and I can in English. And this stream has helped me actually develop that. Doing comedy is helping me develop that. So to be creative, it's just to execute ideas. And if you feel like your ideas aren't special, you, just by existing, your ideas are unique. There's only one of you in the world. There's only one me. There's only one Danny Bauer. And so the ideas in my brain aren't given to anyone else. And I think it's easy to discount that. It's easy to say, yeah, everybody's special, but we don't include ourselves in that equation. Know that you're special. Know that just by existing, your perspective is entirely, completely unique. There's nobody who sees the world exactly the same as you. There's nobody who's lived the exact same experiences as you. So when you generate, when you record a video, when you put pen to paper, when you play an instrument, when you speak, when you make art, when you write, when you do anything, you're being creative. And your impact, your existence can have an impact on the world. And I think a lot of us are afraid. When I say a lot of us, I'm talking about myself, and I'm definitely talking about a mindset shift I've experienced where I was afraid of my impact for a long time. I was afraid of my impact on the world. I didn't want to be a bother. I felt like by default I'm a burden, so I should do whatever I can to minimize being a burden. And I switched that. By default, I'm a gift. By default, you're a gift. By default, I have gifts. And I'm actually being a burden when I'm scared to share my gifts. But when I choose to share my gifts, I'm helping the world so much more. You know, it's amazing to hear people just say that what I'm doing is inspiring them and giving them to believe in themselves. I certainly believe in myself a whole lot more than I used to. So yeah, creativity it's simple. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's not. You won't go through the fight where you're sitting on your couch and saying, I really should practice, or I really want to practice. And there's techniques to master to help get through that. You know, I could go into why should is not helpful. But creativity being simple is not to say it's easy. It's not to shame you for any opportunities to be creative you've missed, because everybody's doing the best with what they know. And if you have missed opportunities to be creative, that's not a reflection on you as that you're a bad person, or you're not creative, or you wasted all this time. You are where you are. Everybody is where they are. Everybody is where they are. Everybody are where they is. And that's okay. And if you can start from where you are, that's the only place you can start. You can't start from somewhere else. You can try to start from somewhere else. It's never going to work. That's what I've found anyways. So just seeing that creativity is simple is maybe a first step to helping me get over the hump of not wanting to create. Going, oh, I don't want to write today. Oh, I don't want to play piano. Oh, I don't want to practice singing. It's like, well, creativity is simple. Take the action, take the things that are creative endeavors off a pedestal, and it'll make it easier to engage with them. Take the notion that this will make you successful off the table, and just create just to create. Play piano just to play piano. at least if you're in a place where you feel like you're paralyzed from being creative. I think once the habit of creativity happens, it's easier to add on, modify it. I'll share that now I'm streaming to Facebook and YouTube. You could call that a technical choice. It's also a creative choice. I had to have the idea to do that and then actually execute the idea, create a new thing in the world where as of Sunday, my live streams were only on Facebook. And as of Monday, now they're on Facebook and YouTube. And hopefully going forward, that's the case. They're on Facebook and YouTube. And to dismiss that as not creative is shooting myself in the foot from like making more creative choices and only limiting like, oh, to be creative is to write a full song. It's like, no, playing a chord is creative. Playing a spooky chord is double creative. Yeah, we're going there. Pizza pocket, pizza pocket, pizza pocket. Tori told me she watches my videos and she always finishes and says, he's crazy, he's crazy. So this is for you, Tori. He's crazy, he's crazy, he's crazy. Danny's insane. He lost his mind a long time ago. But he pretends he's normal until he cracks an egg on his head. And then we all know that he's crazy. Oh my God, he does that thing a whole bunch where he goes to the flat 2 and the flat 3 and then... If I was producing that, I would have put like a big delay. Probably run at the camera in my horse mask. I am crazy. You're right, Tori. Okay, I hope that my ramble on creativity was clear. It felt rambly, but it's a rambly day. Still creative. Still creative. Oh, my camera is there. It's hard to look right at it in the sideways view. Still creative. All right, Facebook, YouTube, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great day. It's beautiful outside. I went on a run. I did about a mile. Get outside today, Chicago people, or if it's nice, wherever. If you feel awful inside, go outside. Bye, everyone.